hello world! My name is Max Stein and I love video games!
I'm the Megabuck. I really love video games.
And I'm a Rafa Boy, and I love video games.
I'm not doing the voice. I'm Vinny. I love video games.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Pod. I'll stop doing it so I
Jeebus.
am not... so I'll stop being offensive. And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast, where we discuss treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I got one last one in there.
His given first. I'm gonna dox him. His given first name is Brennan.
Yeah, it's very Irish.
It's a
That's right.
This
That's true.
week, if you're wondering why I'm doing this obnoxious accent, it's the Friday before St. Patrick's Day, and in
Yahoo!
celebration, we are going to be talking about games that we enjoy getting inebriated to. I guess you could say games
All
we
of
like
them.
drinking to,
All of them.
In honor of our heritage.
and we are also going to have a little segment on Helldivers 2, baby.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh,
We are
yeah.
spreading democracy to gamers across the country. But first,
there's an
let's hit
answer.
the beat with some video game news. Guys, I feel really bad.
Uh-oh.
What do you feel bad for?
I feel really bad because last week we talked about Rooster Teeth and then we cursed.
Ah, that's right.
And then this week,
What have you done? Who are we going to talk about this week? Prepare yourself.
Rooster Teeth announces closure after 21 years of production.
That's
Unreal.
insane.
End of an era, man.
Something,
know, for
Raph,
real.
I think you said I unlocked a memory, right? It's like things
You're right.
you did
Yeah, it's like
for
thinking
20
about
years.
Red versus Blue, man. Watching that like in middle school or something like that. That's wild to me.
And
Like
yet
it's
here we
gone
are in
now.
2024 talking about Red versus Blue 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, right.
It-
Yeah.
I have the
How'd that
first
even
two
happen?
seasons on DVD, and they are in a box right here.
Incredible.
So good. So
Ugh.
Rooster Teeth was established in 2003. Their parent company was Warner Brothers Discovery. I didn't realize that was
Yes.
who owned them.
They got bought way later by them.
Right, because they Red versus Blue, RWBY, which is that like computer generated anime. Death Battle is another show that I've watched before. Yes, they weren't able to make it work. So Warner Brothers unfortunately closed the studio down, and there's a really sentimental letter put out by the guys there. The last paragraph I will read because it's particularly touching and sad, but it says, though not intentional, it's only appropriate that our last season of Red vs. Blue coincides with us navigating this closure together. Our legacy is not just a collection of content, but a history of pixels burned into our screens, minds, and hearts.
Wow.
Rooster Teeth has made an indelible mark on the media industry. We should be so proud of the countless ways we pioneered a business connecting creators and content with a dedicated community.
Incredible.
Bummer, dude.
It's really dope. The indelible mark. I can't help but think about the intrinsic link that they connected with Halo specifically. It
I
must.
know,
I
right?
can't fathom the numbers of free press Halo got from the existence of Red vs. Blue. Right.
That's true.
For serious.
Dude, honestly, I was playing Halo 1 and 2. I don't remember when Red versus Blue came out. I just remember watching it a lot in middle school and playing Halo a lot with my friends. And yeah, dude, it was a big part of my childhood growing up.
That was my senior year of college when Red versus Blue first came out.
Yeah. I think it was my
It was
sophomore year. Yeah.
just as quotable as any Will Ferrell sketches from Saturday
Yeah.
Night Live or something. Like
Right.
we were, oh man, it's such a good. So, God bless you, Rooster Teeth. I'm sorry I cursed you by mentioning you on a podcast.
Thanks,
God-
Sarge.
God bless.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Damn it, Tex.
Come on. Oh, God, go watch it. If you haven't watched it, man, go watch it. It's really good.
I'm sure
I had
she's
to-
rare.
I had to watch a bunch of clips for last week's episode to splice over top of our footage, and I just ended up watching it
Watching
because
the
it's so
show, yeah.
funny.
It's
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good.
It's so
I should
good.
bring it this weekend, Buck.
Yeah.
I should bring it.
Yes, you are. I mean, yes, you should.
Oh, man.
Our next story, pretty cool stuff. Atlas announces a Persona 3 DLC that is brand new, baby. It's called Episode Aegis. It's based off of some other Persona 3 something from earlier, but it's brand new in terms of like just like how they remade Persona 3. they've redone this whole extension of this game. It's about 30 hours worth of gameplay. It's going to come out soon. It's free for anyone that has Game Pass Ultimate, or it's
Oh.
$34.99. It looks really cool.
DLC for a
So they gave it.
15-year-old game.
So they basically gave it the royal/gold treatment.
Yes.
in a way.
Right, yeah.
This new
Wow.
bit has gotten the royal/gold treatment.
Wonderful.
It's pretty relevant and cool just because, as we stated on our Persona 3 episode, this is the highest selling Persona game of all time now.
Really?
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
combined with the original sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
Well, yeah.
still, wow.
Huge stats for this game. I believe I'll have to let me.
That's why, yeah, because you
Yeah,
you
Persona 3
mentioned
has sold over 1 million copies in its first 6 days. Makes it the fastest selling game in Atlas history.
Wow.
That's great.
Good
I
for
mean,
them.
fastest selling is a lot different than X number of
Right.
players playing the game
Sure,
at
sure.
any
Right,
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless,
So that's impressive, honestly.
yeah, the DLC immediately, and it's all brand new stuff. So
That's cool, man.
that
That's
is cool. That is cool, Atlas. Thank you. That's dope shit. All right. Next story. The Xbox showcase happened, and they debuted a bunch of interesting games from partners of theirs. None of them were particularly interesting to me.
He's not wrong.
The most interesting one happens to be something that two of the people on this podcast know pretty much everything about, which is Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox.
Gnarly.
Buck, Mr. Venacore, take it away.
You know that after you know when MMO is good when after a decade the other kid is like, hey guys, can I play?
Amen.
Also, have you been-
Amen.
How many hours of Final Fantasy 14 have you played?
5,035.2.
Can you please explain Final
That's
Fantasy
what it
14?
says on my Steam.
35.
Can you please
5,035.2.
explain Final Fantasy 14 to
I
the
would
viewers?
Give you a screenshot there of it. Me and Benny have both played a bunch, and when him and I met in real life through work and friendship, everything else, we found out we both played 14, and it was like, dude, we're not on the same server, and so his guild was kind of not doing anything, and ours was active at the time, so he moved servers over. He became my roommate in the game because I had a house in the game.
Furnished his whole house for him.
Yeah,
And I
and
was like,
threw a-
but I get to
threw-
live here too.
Yeah. And he did all the soundtracks too. He did great soundtracks in my jukebox in my house. But through a couple more expansions now that have come out, I mean, look, here's the craziest and coolest thing about 14. If you guys don't know the backstory, and Benny can go back more into it, but it sucked when it came out so badly that they had to relaunch it. It's called A Realm Reborn. It's
They
Right,
literally
yeah,
blew up
I
the
heard about
world.
this, yeah.
in
because it was
context, they blew it up.
and it was so bad. And he played original a lot more than I
Beautiful.
did because
This
it
is
sucked, so
1.0.
I didn't play it. It was
Wow.
so bad. It was so janky. And so the guy that still runs it today and also did Final Fantasy 16
16.
Yoshi P.
Mm.
He was the director. He's the director of 14 also. And the coolest thing has happened with this game. So after they did Realm Reborn, they started a giant storyline arc. I don't need to go into any of the details, but the point is like 4 or 5 expansions later, after 10 years, they got to wrap up a 10-year fucking story arc, put a bow on it, and finish it. Big bad dead, good guys win. Wasn't that a tearjerker? That's what happened at the end of the last expansion.
Wild.
And everything
Yeah.
that you've known and everyone you've encountered is either dead bad guy or good guy friend, whatever else. So the new expansion that comes out later this year, Dawn Trail, is all your heroes going to a new continent, and
It's a new
Holy
era. I'm
Really?
so optimistic about it. I really am. It's the Heidelin Zodiac story arc, like Buck said, that lasted over a decade between 2 iterations of the game.
Yeah.
And golly,
how often does a game get to do that? Right? It's
Wow.
like a game getting 3 or 4 sequels and it being a giant series. It just
how
doesn't
how
happen very often.
how do you get a conclusion like that in an MMO to begin with?
Right.
It's like, wow. I feel like when you beat a Final Fantasy game, you
Right.
feel like you got to the end, you saw the end, you killed the big bad, and you finished the story. You don't feel that way when you play MMORPGs because the next branch of the story is only a patch away.
Right,
We
yeah.
got that satisfaction this time around.
Yeah. after a
It was
ton
cool.
of content. But
That's
it was
gnarly.
super
cool as hell.
And it was
Yeah.
a weird perfect storm of Blizzard and WoW kind of collapsing at the time, and COVID, so everybody's staying home. And you ever see the Carbot cartoons of all of the WoW exilees and people leaving WoW, because the community in 14 is pretty friendly and welcoming.
I've always wanted to play Final Fantasy 14. Like I've always wanted to play like the online Final Fantasy games, but I'm not a big MMO guy. What is the gameplay like?
I
in these
played this one up to level
Yeah.
40. I made a warrior, and
You can go up to level 50 for free now, I think.
it's you can play all the way up to that level
Stormblood.
and that's when you get like the advanced jobs for
games?
free.
I
And
see.
it's pretty engaging for an MMO because it has this like real time attacking mechanic in the form
I
of
see.
the like dodging the enemy's big attacks. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of auto hitting shit that is, he'll target, whoever's got the most aggro and attack them, of course. But
Is that like maybe
almost all-
15? Like the combat in 15 was kind of like
No.
that, where it's like
No, not at all.
You didn't really know. Okay.
No,
all right.
there'll literally be an area on the ground if you look at it from above that is
Cool.
highlighted with like an orange cone or an orange lane and it basically the game telling you do not be in that area
Yeah.
soon. You know what I
That's an
mean?
easy way to
Soon,
explain
yeah.
it. It gets way more complicated.
That's what I actually found. I couldn't believe that the thing that I found most difficult, like the hurdle to getting over playing, was that it's actually quite hard. It's you have to learn bosses' attack patterns. You have to
Oh yeah, that's true.
they'll have like bosses will have sequences of events that you have to I know that's kind of like a common MMO
They're almost
thing,
choreographed. They're almost choreographed.
It's almost like the scene in Ava
Interesting.
where
And
Asuka and Shinji have to do everything together.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of teamwork
fascinating.
involved where these guys will have to be clicking this, this object while
like a
these guys
shield or
are
something.
fighting these monsters, like defending them off, and then they
Mm-hmm.
switch, and then it's pretty good. but-
Imagine
cool.
like you've
Yeah.
got like two circle indicators around a boss, an inside and an outside. Now you have to move clockwise, moving alternating inside and outside when you make various
And this is a
moves.
raid,
If
so
you don't
there's,
do
like-
it, if you don't do it in time, you take a hit. You take 2 hits, you die.
There's like
Wow,
12
that's
people doing
like-
this all in synchronization, and I
It's a
found
dance.
that I was the
That's like
only
what I
one that
imagine
never
real
knew what was
combat,
going on,
you
and
know?
so I was
That's
just
part of
getting my
learning.
ass kicked constantly.
It's part of learning it. I think
Yeah.
one of
It's
the
like
best
what I
things-
feel like real combat, like group combat
It's
would be like. It's like having to watch each other, having to, like kind of like pay attention to each other's movements, you know?
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
Realm Reborn, which is 2.0. That's the that's the PS3 box that I pulled
Right.
down. I originally started playing Realm Reborn on PS3.
Okay.
And now,
nice.
now it's how many generations later, right?
Cool.
The cool thing about this game, and I think the part of the reason why it is so successful and new player friendly is because the game eases you in quite nicely
Yeah.
into at first you just have a couple abilities on your bar. It's nice and simple. They let you do your first dungeon with just your couple handful of abilities just to get you going, and then it ramps up so nicely and so smoothly. And when you do get to that max level, you have a lot of choices. You can do the just basic content. You can do slightly harder raids, and if you want to go to the highest level of content in the game, you can do what's called extreme and savage raids, which honestly there are entire guilds dedicated to those things. You with some exceptions, you generally cannot just find a pickup group and do those.
Because
you
then it
have
is like
to-
that episode of Ava where when they're not in perfect synchronization,
If you don't
get
know what
fucked
you're
up.
doing,
Yeah,
the angel
yeah.
kills them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
one person doesn't move correctly into the right circle, the whole group wipes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But it's a lot of fun.
It's really, really fun.
It's more story driven than any other MMO. It has the best single player. In fact, they've added so much of this thing called the trust system that you can actually play the entire game with NPCs in your party and just play it as a single player game if you want.
That's
to, even though you're online.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
'cause
it's the
I'm-
most story driven, most amazing music.
Oh.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, like, honestly, MMOs have never been my thing, and I feel
Yeah.
like Final Fantasy
Yeah.
like is a thing that I like, and I feel like it would be a really cool MMO to get into.
They executed it very, very well. But the cool thing is, if you want to try it, it's free.
On
Yeah.
Game
Have you
Pass,
heard?
hit it up, baby.
Have you
No,
heard?
I'm just kidding.
It's
Yeah.
free.
Have you
It's
heard
free
of the
anywhere,
critically
yeah, yeah.
acclaimed MMORPG Final
Yeah.
Fantasy XIV with expanded free trial, which you can play entirely through A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restrictions on playtime for free?
There you go, listener. Go and get it. It's a good game. Let's move on.
Oh wait, one funny thing about Final Fantasy 14.
Oh.
I forgot to talk about.
What?
The guy who created Final Fantasy, like the original Final Fantasy.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about
Yeah,
Sakaguchi? Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't tell anybody, but at the last fan fest, he actually plays 14. This is how cool this is.
That's
for Final
right.
Fantasy's
I
rap.
forgot you said that.
He's
yeah.
on stage with Yoshi P, with the guy that's the producer of this, and he tells them, "Yeah, no, I play the game. No, I beat the last Savage raid." And someone on the creative team had checked and said, like, "Yeah, here's his account. We checked. He did. He beat the most hard Savage raid." And he says on stage at this fan fest, like, "Yoshi, I just want you to know, Yoshida-san, that I am so glad they put you in charge of this game because it is such a wonderful experience." Fucking Yoshi P started to cry.
Oh,
Like, protect this man at all costs.
wow.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Our first segment today, gentlemen. It's St. Patty's Day. That's why we've all got green on.
You might
Right,
ask
Raph?
yourself, who else got green on? I've got green on.
Boom, baby.
Hey.
I'm wearing a
Oh,
Guinness
my
bathing
man.
suit, baby.
My man.
I said put
I'm in a
something green on
bathing
and
suit for the
he
episode
figured it
tonight.
out. He figured it out.
I didn't
He's
have a
on
green
accidentally
shirt,
shooting
so
me.
I wore a bathing suit.
And I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but this holiday coincides with the idea of getting drunk, drinking alcohol. So we wanted to talk
Mhm.
about
It's funny.
our favorite games that we like to drink booze to. Okay, we all like video games. It's a hobby of ours.
Absolutely.
We all might ingest alcohol, and I would say that there are some games that might go with alcohol a little bit better than others. You might not want to play high-level StarCraft while you're drunk. That sounds
No.
hard to me.
That's the
You might-
only time I
you
want to
know-
play high level
That
That
StarCraft.
sounds impossible to me.
additional pylons. This guy will shut up about it.
What the fuck's a pylon?
Or maybe you do. I'd love to hear why you enjoy playing StarCraft that way, I guess.
I actually have a severe handicap on St. Patrick's Day because it's my anniversary, so I can't get too crazy.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
Wild.
gets me every time.
So I will go first. I will kick off the St. Patrick's Day drinking game escapade with I have a couple. We might go round robin. I don't know. I'll bring my heaviest one first though. Which is one that I don't know if anybody else thought of. If it is, I'm gonna take it, but Rock Band.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, baby.
Good one. I didn't
Rock
think
Band.
about that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Rock
Nothing
Band,
says
the
New Year's
rhythm
like Rock
music
Band.
game with the drums, the bass, the guitar, the singing. Man, there is nothing quite like having a party and playing Rock Band drunk with all of your friends.
Hell yeah.
In fact, the Mega Buck for years threw a fantastic New Year's party featuring hours of
Yeah.
Rock Band gameplay. Just
Yeah.
everyone smashed, going up one after another, singing their favorite '90s grunge hits
Yeah.
because it's Buck's house.
I was there,
Just-
Gandalf.
Oh
Dude,
my god!
I literally had to stick to Xbox for a while because when the first Rock Band I bought was on 360, I think, when the first came out.
Right.
Okay.
And your DLC only carried over in the same family, so you couldn't switch to PlayStation.
Yes.
And
So
I had,
many
like,
songs.
300, 400, 500 DLC songs by the time, like my X Japan from my special edition thing, that IV song from Saw 4.
I just
I
remember
lost
having
it.
absolutely no voice on January 1st, just
Same.
screaming out to just God, Roy Orbison, just like that was my jam. I'll put that shit on, baby.
Me and Mac will duet More Than Words by Extreme, and we'll harmonize this shit. out
So
of each other.
Hell
fun! It's
yeah.
so fucking fun. By the end, you're
Sick.
just like you're having to drop the difficulty down because you're just so hammered. You're
cares?
trying to play the drums and you
Dude,
just
remember
can't.
I had
'cause-
that controller that I think the guys, our buddies from GameStop, got me. It was a controller that plugged into the Xbox. It had a light system built into it and a fog machine that
Oh
interacted
my
with
Yes,
God.
the
that's right.
songs.
That's
That
right.
rocks,
that's
dude.
Right.
That rocks.
I was so sad when it was time to get rid of that generation of Xbox because I couldn't use that thing anymore.
Oh my god, yeah. So my shout out to games to get drunk to is Rock Band, baby. So Buck,
Hell
what
yeah.
did you bring to the table for your notes? What did you write for your favorite games to get drunk to?
I have a couple, but probably the most fun one in a crowd is the Jackbox series.
Nice.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a
I was
good
gonna write-
choice.
That's
Yep.
a good choice.
The Jackbox games are I mean, if you haven't played them, obviously the variety is insane with the Jackbox. Everything from voting on drawing T-shirts to no one will play the marketing and pitch one with me because I'm too good at it.
I love that one.
That one's so good. But like murder trivia.
Trivia Murder Party.
Yeah, Trivia Murder Party is
I
like
don't even
one of
know
the
what that
best
is.
one. Quiplash is a blast.
Quiplash is
Fibbage is
fun.
a blast. There's so many
Fibbage,
good-
Espionage, Split
Quiplash
Room.
is the fucking best
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
ever.
Quiplash is like the
Quiplash
classic.
a
So
regular,
fucking
like
good.
on rotation game.
Ah,
honestly,
I like
in our
Trivia
house.
Murder Party a lot too because I like that motif. It's fun when you've been drinking, but I mean nothing says awesome. And plus you can have 20 people in the room. Like
Yeah, if you haven't played what he's talking about, it's if you remember you don't know Jack people,
you
yes?
don't know Jack.
Yeah.
So
you
you
don't
don't
know
know
Jack,
Jack
the
was this
trivia game.
PC game from the 90s, and it was
Mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah.
incredible. But so it's the same people, and it's a collection of board games that you play using your phone. So everyone goes to the same URL and then puts in a game code, and then every game is played on your phone. So everyone has the thing you need to play, and you can have, like Buck said, like 8 people playing plus 10 extra people spectating, and they'll have like extra spectating like things that they do, like options
Yeah.
and whatever.
Or they can play
Wild.
along.
Yes, that is a fantastic pick.
And as you get more and more drunk, everything becomes a dick joke.
and it gets funnier and funnier as
There's
you go.
one game I remember where you draw a portion of a picture and then it hands it off to someone else who continues
Civic
the
Doodle.
Yes, Civic Doodle. Yes. you could buy your doodles as shirts, by the way, too.
I like the sound effect one.
I was
That
about to
one's
say
really good.
that.
Yeah, when you
The
get
sound
really
effect,
smashed,
yeah.
and then you're just like listening to boing,
Yeah.
boing. And you're like, that's so fucking funny. I listen to
Dude,
that
just
all
straight
night.
up like it's big screams, gunshots, eagle
Yeah.
sounds, and fart
Oh,
sounds are the
yeah.
funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. in
Oh
my
my,
life.
yeah, just listening to something crash into something, and then you're just like, it never fails to get a laugh in our house. It fucking
Yeah.
cracks us up every fucking time.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it now. It's funny.
Yeah, oh, that is fantastic. All right, Raph, what are your favorite games?
Well,
Drink
dude,
to.
okay, so I've got a very specific one, and it's a drinking game that I've played with people before, and it's with Mario Kart. So,
Yes.
the Mario Kart drinking game that we play
It's
is a
specific
game.
drinking game.
Oh yeah. No, it is
Oh.
for Mario Kart, and the game works like this: you start your race, everybody opens their beer, and you have to finish your beer before the end of the race. But you're not allowed to drink and drive because drinking and driving is bad.
Yeah,
So if you're gonna drink your beer, you've got to pull over,
Oh my god, that's funny.
or you can chug your beer at the beginning of the race and then just finish the race.
Of course,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's elicited many drunken nights with friends of mine playing Mario Kart and just getting absolutely smashed and smashing into each other. It's good fun, man. It's good fun.
I definitely had that on my list, Raph. But
Yeah.
which Mario Kart?
Right.
Yeah.
My
Oh, which
answer-
Mario Kart? So we used to do this. Okay, so all right. This was an old roommate of mine. He had a functioning Super Nintendo. So we did this with
Ooh.
the original Super Mario Kart is what we played it with. But it really works
Ah,
with any
okay.
Super Mario Kart game. It works any Mario Kart game. It works with 64. It works with, whatever the current one is. I don't know. There's a million Mario Kart games out
Still
now. But
8.
8.
yeah.
Still
8.
8.
That's crazy. Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
always
8,
fun
8
and
bucks.
you always get smashed by the end of it. The other one that I wanted to bring up is honestly really any co-op game, but Lethal Company in particular is such a great
Just
game.
to drink while gaming.
What's up?
Right.
just to drink while gaming.
Right, yeah. Drinking while gaming in general is fun, but Lethal Company is particularly fun because you die so much, and
It's so
like,
scary too.
it's the horror.
And all you have to
aspect.
do
just
is
drink
wander
while you're dead.
around. Yeah.
But it's scary in the same way that a Scooby-Doo episode is. You know, like,
Right,
like
There's
you
a
see
giant
people
spider in
running
here.
through hallways, giant spiders, monster. Oh no! And you see people running from one hallway to the next, screaming, and yeah, it's good shit.
It's
Wait,
Yeah.
Scoob, I've got some scraps.
Yeah, good. I got some
That's so
grips.
funny.
Yeah.
I had Mario
Good shit.
Kart 8 on my list as well.
Well,
Buck, what's your Mario Kart du jour?
You know, as much as it was not my favorite Nintendo console, I think that Mario Kart 64 is my favorite Mario Kart.
I think I agree with that, honestly.
Really,
Interesting.
I mean, Super Mario Kart was really, really good. It
Right.
just only had 2 players.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like they hit they really just like perfectly nailed it. You know, kind of like with Star Fox. Like the first Star Fox
Yep.
is great, but Star Fox 64, holy shit.
Yeah.
Star
Benny?
Fox 64 is one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
fucking
It's-
great.
Benny,
Yeah.
you got a preferred Mario Kart?
I have to say 64. I mean,
Yeah.
I have so many good memories of that one. It was at like a really prime time in my adolescence.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just kind of made sense.
Man,
Double
we
Dash
play,
was good too.
we
Double Dash
play
was
Mario
good.
Kart 8 and drink beer here constantly, like every week.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
To this day, literally, we went to. Literally last week or a week before, we went to a bar in Orlando, and our buddy David won first prize in a Mario Kart tournament. It was so funny.
Oh my
It
god,
was
that's
sold
so
out
funny.
ahead of time. It was so funny.
Mario
yeah.
Kart
Yeah,
tournament.
Venicor, games
You
to drink
know,
too, sir.
I can't, Raf. I have never met anyone else who knew about Mario Kart drunk driving.
Really? Oh, dude, you knew.
And when you started talking, I was over. You can watch the replay. You can watch the replay because when you started talking about it, my mouth went like, I don't know if you noticed or not, but
That's great.
you are
I didn't know
you are
anybody knew about that game either.
you are the only other person I've ever met who knew about that.
Incredible. That's
I was
amazing.
I was
love it.
I was crossed my heart, hand to God, I was going to say the exact same.
I gotta watch this shit again because I gotta see that reaction. That's incredible, man.
I'm telling you, in the mid 2010s, that's what we did on the weekends. It was
Yeah.
Mario Kart drunk driving, and the best part was the having to pull over
That is really
to
funny.
drink because drinking and driving is not allowed.
You're not allowed to
It's
drink and drive,
magic.
yeah.
So is this the kind of thing where it went around the internet and you guys like saw it somewhere, or is this the kind of
Probably,
thing
yeah.
where like you're in different towns and just different individuals came up with the same idea
Right.
but like never
Yeah.
met?
Two geniuses
exactly
that don't
what
know
it
one
is,
another.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. A friend
Incredible,
at the time I used to hang out with a lot turned me onto it. And
Really?
So funny.
Yeah.
we
it was
found it
just-
online, and we just like I had
Maybe,
you
yeah.
know, like I had a bunch of SNES games. He had a working SNES. My SNES was
Unbelievable.
broken. Let's do this shit. You know,
That's
it's
really,
great.
really funny.
Hell yeah,
Love
brother.
it. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Buck, did you have any other ones you wanted to mention?
I really like when we play Drunk Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
that
yeah.
sounds a lot of
Ooh.
fun.
Oh
We get-
yeah.
we get
Go
progressively
on.
worse.
We get very gutsy.
we get progressively we do dumb
I
shit.
bet I can fuck up Michael Myers from here. I can fuck
we
him
have-
up.
we have this recurring joke when we play, especially groups of 4 or when we have a private lobby of 5, so the killer is one of our friends just deafened and muted in there, and we have this recurring joke that's like, on this episode of Just Leave, when you
Mhm.
should have just left but you went back to help your friend or do something stupid. And yeah, and that happens. So like, you should have just left, and you went back to help somebody, and then yeah, Michael Myers was right there at the top of the hill. You looked up and you went, "Oh God, he's right there!" Jumped down and he killed you. Or
If you don't know what Dead by Daylight is, it's an asymmetrical horror game that has like 1 million licensed villains in it. It's so awesome. Like they have like Ghostface and the guy from what's Jigsaw from
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, right, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Like I don't know, the
Michael
Alien
Myers
and Chucky and
and-
Michael
Yeah.
Myers
Just
and
got
Leatherface.
Chucky.
Dude,
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They just did a
Dude, I missed that
crossover.
game. I haven't
They
played in
just did a
while.
crossover with. I just played this week. They just did a crossover with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and what
Eddie.
they did, check this out, right?
Eddie.
So what they did was some of the characters can wear Iron Maiden t-shirts, but for
Cool.
the killers, they made a Death Slinger outfit that's Cyborg Eddie, and they made the
Nice.
Oni. The Senjutsu, the newest album for Iron. I'm a Maiden fan. Me and my son are, and so
Nice.
the newest album, Senjutsu, which is a samurai, they made the Oni like it looks just like him. And then when you boot up the game right now for this crossover, it plays Fear of the Dark at the menu screen.
So
Dope.
badass.
And
Wow.
if you
That's so
equip one of
badass.
the skins, because I bought some of the skins, it will play Fear of the Dark. So I'm not as big of a fan, but next month there is a Slipknot crossover.
That's cool.
Where
Ooh, I
some
like
of the,
Slipknot.
Some of the characters
Yeah.
and killers are getting, like, Legion especially can wear one of the masks,
Oh,
right?
cool.
I can
yeah.
mess
So
with that.
They're
Yeah.
finding other cool ways besides just the killers, and I think that's a really fucking cool idea.
Hell,
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that game is too scary for me, honestly. It's
so much fun.
it's basically hide and seek plus other
becomes-
stuff, but
It becomes very formulaic and
Yeah.
like
That's true.
you after a while, but this is like 1,000+ hours in. It's not
That's
scary
funny.
anymore after
Yeah.
that.
The
you have to
newest-
understand.
Sorry, go ahead.
You have to understand that I am a
Yeah.
huge chicken. I am.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
you
don't
ask
fit,
Buck, I will
Yeah.
scream it. Yeah.
The newest killer is unlicensed, but there's a level coming with him, and it is an old school movie theater complete
Looks
with
so good.
theater you can walk in and an
Ooh.
arcade full of arcade machines.
That
and
looks
pinball
so good.
machines.
Nice.
That is the level. So I love what they're doing with it. They do a great job with protecting the licenses and everything else, and doing great with it. They brought Stranger Things left, and then it came back. They got it renewed. I mean, that was just super cool. So
It makes sense.
Honestly,
you
like, well, I was gonna say it's just any really like co-op horror game is
Yep.
so good to play when you guys are
Yes.
drinking because, man, like I was talking about this the other night, and like I love introducing friends of mine to co-op horror games. Like just watching the way that they deal with
Yeah.
stress is
Yeah.
so funny. You know, like
when we
just
get
like I get to
progressively
see
worse.
which
Yeah.
of my friends are heroes and which of my friends are cowards.
when we get
You know, it's-
progressively worse as
Yeah.
we drink, it makes it more fun.
Yeah,
that makes,
and everybody gets braver. Everybody gets braver the more they drink.
that makes a lot of sense. You got brew something about being
Yep.
social with getting your inhibitions unlocked when you
Absolutely, yeah.
drink makes so much sense. But I also wanted to bring something maybe different to the table that I think I
Ooh.
could justify that also makes a lot of sense. And that is a solitary experience.
Oh,
And that is talking Skyrim when you get a bunch of wine and you play Skyrim in your room because your girlfriend is
That's a-
on a vacation. So you get some wine and you sit and play Skyrim and get drunk and play Skyrim.
And this is back, and you're an alcoholic.
But you're also level 50, Mish. Yeah, man.
Dude,
Skyrim
no,
is
for real.
actually an incredible game. I'm not when you like it's a different
That was my
environment,
Groundhog
right?
Day game.
yeah.
You're not with your friends, you're by yourself, but man, it's such an immersive experience and everything is so subtle and everything. So you just
Yeah.
like I said, it's the perfect wine game, right? You're treating yourself to a night of Skyrim. By the end of the thing, you're just like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking take this treasure. I'm
I
a fucking
don't
hero.
Here,
Ooh,
this
man.
dragon's too big.
Yeah, right. And then you get and then you like a giant like tosses you into the air and ragdolls you, and it's the funniest thing you've ever seen because you're drunk, and it's it's a good
That's
ass.
wonderful, man.
That
I
is a
love it.
fantastic, I think,
Great
experience. Drunk Skyrim.
Honestly, drunk Skyrim, it should be a national sport. It's just
And then you could do a bunch of skooma, and then your guy goes
I
all
love
crazy,
it.
and you can fucking.
School.
Yeah.
Any
One
Elder
more
Scrolls
beer,
game, really.
one
Like,
more
just, like-
wine, one more drink before bed.
Honey, you have a
Oh,
problem.
beautiful.
Yeah, I know this dragon's in the way of my treasure.
I know he's shouting at me, and I'm shouting back at him, and nothing's happening. Yeah.
Go to bed. You go to bed. I'm shouting at you. Go to bed.
Boost
Boost
Road
Road
Star.
I am 10 years old. All right. Does anybody have any other
Moving
things
right
they want to
along.
mention for games to drink to?
No, Raph and I did our mind meld. I think
I
we're
Okay.
love
good.
that. I'm
Fantastic.
so excited and happy that
Yeah.
happened. That's great. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. Okay. All right, our main segment for the day is another game that could have been mentioned in our excellent games to drink to be quite frank.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about the hit sensation, the fucking out of nowhere ballpark slammer that is Helldivers 2.
Hell yeah.
Holy camole, guys. This game kicks ass. Developed by Arrowhead Game Studios, published by Sony Interactive. It was released in February 8th of 2024. It is a sequel to a 2015 game. So the 2015 game, just to put some reference into here, the 2015 game is a twin stick shooter, basically. It's a 4-player twin stick shooter where you're like doing essentially the same stuff that you're doing in the second one, but you're going on missions. You've got loadouts of weapons and extra stuff to bring. There's lots of team killing that goes on, which is one of the best things about this game, honestly. But yeah, man, we've all, I think, Venny, have you gotten to play it at all by any chance, or have you just watched it?
I've watched friends play part 2. I did get to play part 1 though, but
So we
Short Bus is playing
yeah,
it right now.
we
Oh, cool.
Helldivers. Buck, you got to play a little bit before we actually jumped on this podcast.
Yeah.
I guess we can
played
do a bit of a
little bit
round
earlier.
table
Yeah.
about it, but you have the most recent first impression of it. So
Well, Sorry.
no, I was gonna say I'd like you to go ahead and give us your feelings on Helldivers 2, please.
I played a little bit of the first one, the first Helldivers. Not a whole lot, probably only like 8 or 10 hours. Some of my other buddies played a crap ton of it, but those are always fun. Twin stick shooters are always fun. It's a fun like theme and idea, which it was kind of similar to this one, but not quite as over the top in the best of ways. But I think the coolest thing about it is that like it grabbed that essence of Starship Troopers that like,
Yeah.
everybody absolutely loved. I mean, that movie was freaking phenomenal back in the day, but it's still a great watch now. There's a Starship Troopers game that came out a year or two back that's not that great. They
It's
like
okay.
captured a
Yeah,
better
what is the
essence.
name of that one?
Like Starship
Extermination.
Troopers,
I
Sorry It
actually
Sucks.
have quite a few hours logged into it. It's all right.
Yeah,
It's not
and
that good.
that was one of the first games I've seen one of my buddies refund because it was like, holy crap. But it's a shame because they didn't do this, but it doesn't matter because Helldivers is so cool.
Yeah.
After playing it a couple hours, I think the funniest thing to me is that it reminded me of Lost Planet for the Xbox.
Oh,
yeah,
nice
that's
call
right.
out.
Yeah,
The
you mentioned that
controls and the
earlier.
diving. If you gave me a freaking like grappling rappel hook thing, which you have in that because there was lots of ice motif wall climbing, like
Yeah.
it would play just like it.
Nice.
Like the diving and the way the shooting works and everything, it feels just like that game, which I love. The first Lost Planet. I
That
played
is a
crap ton of it.
great reference, Buck. I haven't
That
thought about that
honestly,
game in forever.
It's like such a well-made game that I feel like a lot of people don't know about, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they made
Yeah.
they made one sequel.
I think they
I
made
think
one
so, yeah.
sequel. I didn't
Yeah.
play it, but man, that first one, I remember
it
the
was great.
demo. Ugh, being like, oh my god, this is next gen gaming.
It reminds me it's I'm so glad that like I mentioned this before and I'm glad that you knew what game I was talking about, Buck, but Elite Dangerous.
Oh yeah.
The way that the map for the galaxy works, it's like this real-time thing, like the actual like capturing of the planets is happening in real time and you can
Yeah.
see all the players dropping into
That's
the
cool.
planet. Like I don't know if you know this, but when you're in game in Helldivers 2 and you could you drop right from the bridge of the ship, if you hang out on the front end of the ship, you can look out and you could see people dropping in through different pods through their ships, and those are all actual real players hopping into the game.
Yeah, they paid special attention to that too. I love the little mini games that you have to do whenever you're
Yeah.
calling a mission. Like, okay, you
Ugh.
have to open up the missile silo. Okay, and someone doesn't just run up to the console and hit the button. They run up to the console and they have to put in up, up, down, left,
Yeah.
down, right, down, up, down, down. Then they
So
have to put in the secret.
You
I mean,
play
that's so cool.
DDR, you know, with your
It's so neat.
fingers.
All the
you know?
mini games that you
Yeah.
play.
the Helldivers 2, the gameplay, just to clarify, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't played, it's a third-person shooter, 4-person co-op. As Buck stated, the way the main gameplay sort of is, it's mission-based team play. And as Raph stated, there are two war fronts going on.
Yeah.
As the Starship Troopers motif would have it, you are spreading democracy to these two war fronts of these these entities that clearly couldn't understand. You know, it's
Yeah.
like a bug race and a bunch of robots. Like
Spreading
we're
democracy
giving them democracy.
Terminators
at
and
the end of a
Tyranids.
30-06.
Dispensing democracy.
It's so funny and over top with the satire that they do. There's a bunch of tips. There's a bunch of like pro tips in the loading screen, and they're all just jokes about like if you spot someone having too much fun, make sure to report them to the governance of war or whatever. Like a bunch of really really silly shit.
My favorite one is every Helldiver must spend 0.2 or 2.4 seconds looking at the scenery because a happy Helldiver is a deadly Helldiver.
So yeah, you go on these missions that as you progress in difficulty, which you unlock as you level up, they get more and more complex, and there'll be harder and harder enemies in them, but they'll involve going to places on a map and then doing objectives in the form of interacting with like these computer intercom things. So like there'll be a big rectangular thing on this part of the map that you have to walk up to and interact with. Like Raph said, like you play DDR essentially with your D-pad. It'll ask you to input this very long sequence of codes, like arrow codes, up, down, left, right, up, down, right. And it's so they also do that with these things called stratagems, which are like these big weapons that you can like call in, either like support things or like a jetpack, or it can be even something as crazy as like an orbital bombardment or something. And the way you call them in is that you have this sort of like catch-all uniform Pokeball looking object that your guy pulls out, and
the Pokeball of Doom.
He plugs in one of those codes, one of those
Sorry, what?
one of those sequences of up, down, left, right arrows in order to bring out these special abilities.
And you chuck it like a grenade.
You chuck it just like a grenade, and wherever it lands is where it deploys.
Yeah.
And the thing that sort of dovetails with why that is so fun is because the name of the game here is quantity, not quality, as far as enemies. You are, much like Starship Troopers and Terminator, absolutely flooded with these giant bugs or these huge robots. And so it is a mad dash panic to get anything done, including call in any of your powers.
Yeah.
And
calling in abilities,
add insult to injury on that, and in a good way, I think. Like, if you have a mission and someone has to jump on a console and play a little mini game, you just took one of your players out of the firefight to progress the mission you're doing.
You've got to cover your buddy while he does the thing. You know?
It's clever, and it keeps it interesting.
And when you die, you have to put one of those codes in to revive your friends.
Yeah.
You can't
So you got to concentrate, and you got to concentrate and like do it right and
hide behind
under pressure.
Hope that nothing hits you and try to get the buttons right. I can't count how many times I've messed up the thing. I'm trying to do it. I'm like, oh no, left, right, no, it was left, it was right, no. You know,
you only have a certain number of them as well. So if you like shared amongst you, so you sometimes someone will die, and you might want to wait until another person dies until you revive them both with a single revive order. There are like. There's like an instant call plane that you can call in that has different forms of attack, but you share the call in, but it has like instant respawn time, but you share its call-ins with like as a team. And so that's another thing that requires. I tried to play with Buck the other night, and he said he wasn't getting in our Discord, and I said, why aren't you on Discord? And he said, well, I'm in bed. And I said, this is not a bad game.
You can't
play this
This
game.
is- no. We got to be
Yeah.
talking, man. This
We
game is
gotta
going to be crazy.
communicate. We
One of
gotta
the-
be shouting at each other.
One of the
you
most
know?
fantastic things about this game is the friendly fire. I sort of mentioned it
Yeah.
before. It's that normally in a game that's something that's sort of a hindrance or maybe annoying, but it actually has this sort of what was the game you said earlier, Raph? The horror game. The one where you're just walking
Oh,
around
Lethal
collecting.
Company. Lethal
It has
Company.
this sort of
Yeah.
Lethal Company effect
Yeah.
where you'll just randomly shoot your friends while you're panicking and just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, sorry. And just like, it creates
My-
these hilarious moments spontaneously, just inadvertently.
My favorite thing is when we're getting overwhelmed and everybody is trying to hold the position, and I say, I'm calling in an airstrike, and somebody says, where? And I said, right fucking here. Like, right on us. Everybody get down, and we just drop, and then just bombs come over us. And yeah, like, dude, my favorite code, and it's the one that I have memorized, is just down, right, down, and that's the 500 kilogram bomb. This thing is the biggest explosion I've
It's
ever
just like
seen
a
in the
nuclear
game.
bomb that you
It's
drop
just-
instantly. But
Right,
you only
like a
have one of
small-
it in the level.
Yeah, one small tactical nuke. No, the other one is like the something warhead, like the death warhead. Where it's like a big nuclear bomb that just drops. It's amazing. I love it.
So amazing.
Yeah.
The guns in this game sound incredible.
Very
Yeah.
satisfying too.
They
Yeah.
feel really, really good, and they start crazy powerful and get crazier from there. Like Buck just started like last night, and he's like, let me call in my rocket launchers. Like he's
Yeah.
already has them because the game necessitates them, because the combat that the adversity that you're facing is insane.
Oh,
So
dude, and there's the team aspects of using certain
Yes.
weapons.
Oh my God.
Like the you and I played the other night, and like he had that rocket launcher that I had to stand behind him with the ammo pack so I can feed it into his rocket launcher.
It's a
that's
two-piece
cool.
weapon that comes out
Wonderful.
with a backpack and with a rocket, and you get with a buddy
Yeah.
and you use it together.
Yeah,
That's
I would
cool.
carry
And
it on my
so-
back. He'd hang out with me, and then I'd throw rockets into his rocket launcher. He'd fire them.
It makes it so you can fire like 3 times faster than normal.
Yeah.
So if you have a mission in which you know you're going to, say, fight a very large villain or whatever, like a large bug, we might choose to team up and become like the Rocket Squad, which is very satisfying and comes with its own hilarious things that happen as you're trying to play the game as the Rocket Squad. It's so stupid. It's so fun. If you if you empty an entire clip, your guy screams for democracy.
Yeah. My favorite thing is fighting bugs with the flamethrower, and just my guy just starts screaming like, he just starts laughing maniacally. He doesn't even scream anything. He just laughs maniacally with the flamethrower.
Oh
It's
my God.
incredible.
The particle effects on that flamethrower are really good.
Oh,
too.
Yeah, that's right. I fired it.
It looks really
Hold on one
good
second.
in that game.
The flamethrower is probably one of my favorite weapons to use in game, because I could just stand there just blowing things away, especially if you're fighting bugs, because bugs take fire so easily. Have you got you didn't get to fight the robots, right?
Hell no! All I've heard is the Terminators are hard as shit.
Yeah, dude. No, the Terminator. Honestly, I think bugs are harder, because with bugs, I get overwhelmed so easily. Like they just crowd you. But with the robots, they're shooting at you, so you can kind of hang back and hide behind things. But with the bugs, they just overwhelm you.
Well, that's just cool because it makes you use a variety of weapons, right? Like things
Right.
like high-powered sniper rifles and stuff, for instance, don't do shit against the bugs because there's a lot of them.
I love sniping. Sniping is one of my favorite things in that game. I always play a sniper, ranger kind of character.
The list of weapons, like you were saying, like some of them, like the shields versus the guns versus the flamethrower versus the bugs. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a rocket launcher that homes in on things. There's insane impact grenades and all sorts of crazy shit. But I wanted to touch back on something that Raph mentioned about the explosions and that come from the really, really big bombs, which is that there is a dive mechanic in Helldivers.
Yes.
And it sounds like something like it could very easily go unmentioned, but I cannot stress enough
No, it's great.
how fun it is
Yeah.
to dive in Helldivers. Literally, it is so silly. You can double tap your crouch button to do a dive, and you can swivel your camera in any direction. So you can dive forward, you can dive backwards, you can dive left or right. And so there are countless numbers of times in which you're being like, you'll be shooting one direction and then like you'll be surprised from another, and you do this fucking John Wick dive and then rotate yourself and blast the thing that was about to surprise you with a shotgun, and you just instantly go, did anybody see that? Did anybody see that? Did anybody fucking see that?
There's so many times in this game where I'm like, did you guys see what I just did?
Yeah,
When I straight up like run over towards a bug base, or even like the robots, like I'm like, I got this, guys, and I pull my pistol out and just throw a grenade in the thing, dive, and then while you're diving, just blind fire your pistol. It's incredible. I love it. Great game.
Spoilers.
Great game.
Venny hates shooters.
It's you know what? Like, I'm not a big shooter guy, and this is just stupid. It's
fine.
just
It's
so
stupid,
fun because
and
of how stupid it is.
I don't like there was reports about like, oh, Helldivers, there's already cheaters in the Helldivers, and I was like, why would you care? They're on your team. Why do you care if they're cheating or not?
It's not a competitive game, yeah.
And so for me, I don't like shooters either because I suck at them. But for this one, the third person part makes it easier to shoot. First of all,
True.
And then secondly, so much of it is communication. Like it involves like, hey, I'm gonna throw down this thing. Everybody get down, because I wanted to also mention that the dive is not just for show and not just for that thing. When you are on the ground, when you are laying flat, you take less damage from explosions and you are less susceptible to ragdolling, because many things in this game will hit you so hard that your character goes flailing all crazy. And so if you are laying flat, you are less likely to get hurt by that. So there are often times when something crazy happens like that, like when you accidentally drop a grenade at your own feet because you got attacked when you didn't realize someone was behind you, and you can just yell out, hit the deck. And then if everyone gets flat at that exact moment, you can actually save your lives. And so it's a lot of communication.
Or if you drop a
YouTube short. I saw a YouTube short today. Is there a backpack in that game that like makes you impervious from the rear?
There's a big shield that you can hold on that is permanently impervious, but only for one direction.
Okay.
And then there's one that encompasses you all over, but only for a brief moment of time.
Okay, because I saw a YouTube short that was talking about an indestructible backpack or something, and apparently there's an emote that you can hug the other player, so that your back is protected, their back is protected. It covers you both, and you could survive like a nuclear blast. Yeah,
that's a thing.
And
so
I
think it's
it was not patched out like yesterday.
It should stay in there.
That is that game in a nutshell.
Yeah,
I don't think they would patch that out.
No. That's so funny.
It's
my favorite thing is setting off
so
like a
funny.
big nuke bomb and then just doing the hug emoji where you just raise your arms and letting the thing fall on you.
You know what's interesting about it, Venny, in the shooter aspect is it is not a skill-based shooter.
No.
Like it's not about how good you are at shooting. Everything is spray and pray or just a shotgun.
It's all about getting the objective done. That's
it's PvE. It's PvE.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that automatically makes it cool in my book.
Exactly.
It's these hyper competitive, like ranked ladder competitive esport PvP shooters.
Yeah,
that
I
are,
hate that too.
No.
I think
Hunt.
of the four of
Hunt
us
is the
played
only
this.
PvP shooter I play.
Oh my God. Okay, so you know what it is, Venny? It is Monster Hunter with guns.
It is Monster
I had
Hunter,
this thought earlier. That's what it is. It's a missions,
100%.
and you got to communicate with your friends. Okay, we're going on a blank mission, so bring blank. Bring your best blank. You know what I mean? Because
100%.
it's not there is leveling in it. There is a what do they call it? Battle pass situation. It's not that bad. It's not pay to win. The free battle pass items that you get are fine as you level up.
Just cosmetic.
It really comes down to specializing. By level 10, you've unlocked every type of destruction there is.
Right.
But you can't equip it all at the same time.
Like,
So
you get
you have to
benefits from the
pick.
armor. Like, you get some benefits from the armor you buy with money, but the same benefits are available to you if you don't buy it. A lot of the stuff that you buy does have a physical benefit, but it's also just aesthetic, and it gives you the same stats that the other armor that you get just regularly does. And the cool thing is that the currency that you buy stuff with real money, you can actually acquire that currency in game.
Yes, it's just laying around.
You could also buy it with the actual in-game currency. It's like you can buy the in-game currency to buy the in-game currency. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like in Hunt. Like in Hunt, you can
But then you
find
can
the real game
find
currency in Hunt.
that currency in the map too.
Yeah.
Great game.
It is a
Great
great
game.
game. It kicks ass. These guys were playing it before the stream, and I might play it after the stream. Who knows?
I would love to.
This is a fucking kick-ass game. We might spread democracy. My favorite loadout I'll share is jetpack, grenade launcher,
Mm.
auto shotgun, machine pistol.
Nice.
Fucking
Good choice.
got the big armored bad boys. You can take them out with a couple grenade launcher shots, but also you can turn that grenade launcher on a group of lightly armored guys, like a big
Yeah.
squad of little regular ass guys. The fucking auto shotgun, when all the shit hits the fan, nothing saves you out of the shit like a fucking automatic shotgun, baby. You just just fucking blasting everywhere. It's so stupid. Man, and if you want to put your friends out of their misery in one quick shot to the head, that auto
Yeah.
shotgun will do the job. Whoops, sorry,
think
Raph. Fuck, sorry,
I've
Raph.
ki-
Sorry,
yeah,
fuck,
I
shit,
think
sorry,
I've
Raph.
no legit. I think I've killed Max so many times with that
betrayal.
shotgun.
It's
Yeah,
so
Like,
funny.
and it's
Every
you
time
know
it's
what?
funny.
You know what? I'd say only 90% of the time that I've killed Mac with a shotgun, it's been my fault. I'll
It's
just
true.
say.
I'll just walk right in front of his shotgun and
He just-
like a child and just like bam, and he just shoots me right
It's
in the head.
always so funny because
so-
of the
it's always so funny.
instantaneous death. Like,
Instant
yeah,
death.
it's
Oh,
good.
it's incredible. Yeah,
Holy
Helldivers
shit.
2. Recommend. Game Gem for
Yeah.
fantastic game.
Woo,
All right.
Gem to the 10th.
It's so good. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to our final segment here and finish out the show. We are here at the end of the show with our What Else You Got. This week, I've got 1.5 things. The first thing is I was at the grocery store today and saw this.
Cute.
Oh, look at that.
One
What
of
is this?
one of 4 collectible covers
Oh,
That's
shit.
to
fantastic.
celebrate Pokemon.
It's
No
the OG
way.
art.
Super
Oh,
cute
no,
as
no,
fuck.
not quite. Not quite. Almost.
Almost.
So yeah,
Pikachu
it's
would be
just-
chubbier. Yeah.
This issue of Time is all about the history of Pokemon. It goes through like the
That's
origin.
pretty
It's got like a
freaking
little
cool.
timeline issue. I got some
was gonna say,
pictures
so
that I
this
wanted to
timeline isn't that
highlight
bad.
here. Badass.
Ooh.
Right there, playing
Oh,
Super Mario
I was gonna
World.
say, what does
Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto
He's
playing
on-
Super Mario World have to do with Pokemon?
Cool.
He's on Iggy's Castle. This is talking about him working with the guy that made Pokemon to help make it good. There's a bunch of really nice glossy
Cool.
photos in here.
That's
Let
awesome.
me find some other things that I've bookmarked. Sorry.
Time Magazine's always a really high quality
I
print.
thought this
So
was
like
cute.
when
Oh,
you see the specials in the grocery store, it's worth checking out.
this is some of the funnier cross branding that Pokemon has done. Some of the funnier promotional stuffs.
Oh, cool.
And there's several things on here. Magikarp Taiyaki maker,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Mon Poke toilet paper, of course. But
Mhm.
I had to see this picture of Pokemon's Heinz pasta.
Oh my
It's
god.
just,
Nice.
it's
that
just
was a
boy.
thing?
It's just-
Oh.
Delicious. What
I
even is
missed
that,
that.
flavor? What even is in
right,
that
exactly.
can?
It's
What the hell is in that
I think
can?
it's like Chef Boyardee. I bet.
Don't
Was it
worry.
Squirtle?
There's red sauce. There's red sauce in there. Don't worry.
Oh, no.
What's in a can? What's in the can?
What about the Jigglypuff butt plug?
It's just blue. It's blue flavor. They don't have the Jigglypuff butt plug, but they do have the
Oh,
that
the
swallow me
sleeping bag.
Gengar
Yeah.
sleeping
Sleeping
bag.
bag.
I remember
Swallow
that.
me,
Oh
Gengar.
my god. Oh my god. I remember that. Wow.
You win. You win.
GG
and then
nerds.
Swallow me, Gengar. Oh shit.
My other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick was something that another prophecy that I brought about. Right? Okay, we've got Red vs. Blue getting
Yeah.
canceled. We've got the Stardew Valley patch coming out after I started playing Stardew Valley. Well, guess what?
That's right.
Earlier this week, for the first time in my life, I played Minecraft.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I played Minecraft, and it was dope.
It's fun.
I like
That's
it.
cool.
It's
It's
good.
fun.
I had never
It's
played
fun,
it. I don't know.
yeah.
It seemed so inaccessible. It seemed like so sort of esoteric and just like I was like, I don't really know what you do. But then I got in it and I said, oh, you don't have to do anything.
You can do whatever
Yeah.
you want.
And then I thought, well, isn't that kind of pointless? But then I thought, but isn't that also kind of like life?
Mm-hmm.
I got in there and I thought
Oh,
to
boy.
myself, well, there's no
Oh,
this
boy.
this world is
Oh, boy.
procedurally. I mean, follow me here. This world is procedurally generated, right? It's randomly generated, and so it's like, okay, so you can dig, and then the question arises, where do you dig? And the answer is wherever. It doesn't, the game is not designed for you to go, oh, you are supposed to go over here. Much like how life is not designed for you to go like, this is how you go to find something interesting. No, in order to find something interesting, you go out into the world and you look for things that you like. In Minecraft, to find something interesting, like I spent a bunch of time building a house because the mobs wouldn't stop killing me. So then I started digging straight down in my house. Found some cool pockets of like ores and shit, crazy monsters down there. Then I got brave enough to actually explore the world, and I went like 100 feet to the east and realized that there was this huge ravine that was just there, and it was filled with all sorts of shit, and it was just like, oh shit,
And you could just go
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So my objective became, I gotta get down there. And then when I got down there, there was a randomly generated ancient city biome that only generates underneath a mountain biome, I found out. And it was just like, what is this? Whoa, this is this is why. Oh, I understand why this game is so cool now. I'm so glad that I picked it up because they just released a new patch after 10 years, right after I pick it up, with new wolf skins. Something I'll never get. There's 1,000 years from where I'll ever get, but
No, that's wonderful.
it's really fun. I'm going to keep playing. I'm playing on the PC by myself, and then me and my girlfriend are playing on the Xbox cross screen, because it's not like, oh, in the other one I have so much. It's like, I don't know, it's whatever. The game is just, you just kind of play it. It's you just kind of chill and hang out.
Honestly, I was telling you earlier, my favorite experience in Minecraft was not anything related to the actual game. Like there's a story, you have to like, not a story, but there's
a way
there's
to
an
beat
end
it.
game.
Yeah.
Like there's a way to beat it. There's an elder dragon or whatever you have to get to. But my favorite experience in Minecraft is just straight up, we built a tower that was at the maximum height of the towers that you can build in that game. And we just made a game where we would jump from that tower either into the water or try to hit a hole in the ground down at the bottom. And we spent 6 hours playing this. Like it was a game we invented in the game. We were just diving off a tower,
This is just
hitting the ground.
Hole
dying.
divers all over again.
Yeah.
This is just kids outside going, "Bet they
Right.
get that football between those two sticks."
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you can't
just
hit the hole in the ground at the right time.
Yeah, dude.
So many times just splattering against the ground, picking my stuff up again, and then
Go outside and touch grass.
Yeah.
Never
Go outside and touch
worked. Buck.
No, I'll be digitally touching grass.
Oh yeah, Buck. What else have you got for us this week, sir?
Oh, today on a Bucks Retro Corner Whatchamahoosit segment thing doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Retro Zone. It's the Retro Zone.
Hey.
Zone.
Yeah. Benny coined it.
I mean, it's already a great console, right? So like, does it even matter?
Right.
What
The
game
shape.
it is?
Yeah.
Nope, I don't care. That is a winner in your hand.
What do we got?
But it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love this
Tournament
game.
fighter,
Teenage Mutant Ninja
tournament
Turtle
fighter,
Tournament Fighters for the Super Nintendo.
baby. Oh, that was such a great game.
Hell
Dude.
yeah.
It's a
Oh,
Konami fighting game, which did not really happen at all.
With amazing
time.
graphics, I might add. With amazing
It-
Konami
seriously.
flair. Yeah.
seriously.
This game, if you did not play it, I really hope Mac will pop up. I know he'll pop up some video of it right now if you're watching kids on YouTube or Spotify video. Konami did not make like any fighting games at all. When they had this Ninja Turtle license, they made the beat 'em ups and all the other shit they did with them. But they made these fighting games. They made it for the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, And believe it or not, they made, it's pretty rare and pricey, a version for the NES. Fighting games on the NES. It had
Ooh.
Toga and
What?
Razar in it, I think.
Ooh,
the NES
really?
version. Yeah.
Wow.
But it basically just stole the tropes from Street Fighter and other games.
Mhm.
Leonardo was Ryu, and I think Raphael kind of was too. Donatello played kind of like Dhalsim, if I'm not mistaken. He had Bison. He had a Psycho Crusher.
Yes.
Raphael was kind of like Dhalsim, if I'm not mistaken, with like a Yoga Flame style a move. There were other characters like Wingnut and Screwloose, Amagon, and some of these others. Some pretty cool characters. Interestingly enough, I believe on this version for the Super Nintendo, they took I think she's from the comic books, a character named Asuka. She was that female ninja.
Yes, I think she's like
Yeah.
Shredder's daughter.
Well, I don't know.
something like
Later on, they
this.
brought in Karai. Who
Oh,
was
no,
Shredder's
that's who
daughter,
it is.
But I
Never
don't.
mind.
But the interesting thing about that is on the Genesis version, you could play as like Ninja April O'Neil and Casey Jones. Casey Jones was on the Genesis version.
What?
I don't
Wild.
know. So it's one of those games where like it was there were some pretty
Soul Calibur
crazy
effect.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe
Cool.
I believe too on the Super Nintendo. I think that the version of Shredder was like Super Shredder, whereas the
Ooh.
Genesis version of Shredder was different. It was like regular or Cyber Shredder or something along those lines. So there were some
Wow.
pretty big differences between the two obvious ones. And the NES one is like, if you look at it, it's crazy just to see a fighting game on the NES. Again, you only had 2 buttons, right? So
Right.
it's wild.
Right.
But I remember me and Mac and our buddy Ben too just playing
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
absolute crap out of this game. It was some weird. They tried to cram down some weird motif that the Ninja Turtles and all the characters were fighting in a big like tournament for like money
Yeah.
and crap. And it
It was
like,
a bit
broadcast
it was
on
a
the
bit
news.
clunky and campy, and obviously we'd much rather play Street Fighter 2 back in the
Yeah,
day,
for sure.
but it was I'll tell you this, it was much better than the fighting game that was in that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like half platformer, half fighter. Do you remember that game?
Well, so they made 2 of those, right? They made the
Yeah.
movie, and the movie again, it's funny, weird.
FMV
funny,
games. Sega
They
CD.
made Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie on both the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. And if I'm not mistaken, they're flip-flopped. Like on the Super Nintendo, the first one is a beat 'em up with, you're right, a fighting game at the end with the Zords.
Right.
And then the movie is just a fighting game. And I think on the Genesis, it's flip-flopped.
Interesting.
I think the movie is a beat 'em up, and the regular.
Regardless,
one
as
is
far
a
as
fighting game.
licensed fighters go, right? If
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad,
pretty good.
I dare say it's good. It's fun. It's
It had some pretty cool super moves. All of
Yes.
the characters had like a special bar and some pretty cool super moves, which would have been like, a la Super Street Fighter 2.
my comments stand on the first thing I said, which is when I think of that game, I think that game looks kick ass.
Yes.
The
it was
models
gorgeous.
are
Yeah.
the models are
sprites.
big, and they like
Yeah.
I love
Castlevania,
good,
right?
big, detailed sprites. I
When you
love
think
that.
of Konami, I think of Castlevania and other games that are a little bit more like grungier and grittier than like
Mhm.
the Street Fighter is obviously a very Japanese game. It's quite clean feeling, but this game feels like kind of nasty. And the Ninja Turtles, they got their powers through ooze, and so
It was-
it
it-
fits.
but it
It's
was-
very 90s feeling.
It was more of a comic booky art style. too, though.
Yeah.
And the point
Yeah.
about the larger sprites is pretty valid. Like back then, that was one of the big kickers, like for when Mortal Kombat came out for the Super Nintendo and Genesis. One of the things they had to do was scale down the size of the fighter's sprites to get them to fit onto the cartridge.
Right.
Sometimes why you didn't get full rosters on some of these fighting games. Killer Instinct's another good example. If you look at the size of the characters on the screen,
Yes.
they're like 60% of the size, and the characters in this game were pretty nice and bulky, like a Samurai Showdown.
Yes, like Samurai Showdown. That's perfect.
I think with the Super NES, you had like 32 to like 128 pixel size sprites, and like those big ones look gorgeous in that.
yeah.
When they did them well. So we
Yeah.
got a handful of copies this month for Retro Game Treasure. It's it's definitely superheroes is a sub genre you can select, and fighting games is a category you can select. So
And it's
People-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters.
Hell yeah.
Good ass Super Nintendo game worth having in a collection. All right,
job.
Raph, what have you got for us this week?
My what else you got is actually slightly related to a previous episode. I am still playing through Final Fantasy VII, and if you guys didn't know this, I mentioned I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I've been playing Final Fantasy VII since middle school. And I'm finally at the point where I can say I'm real close to beating it.
And not
Like,
soft locked out.
It's a long
Right,
game,
and not
right? It's
soft
not
locked
that
out.
long.
Yeah, not soft locked out. I'm on the last disc, and I'm this close. But you know what I'm doing right now? I'm grinding. I'm just straight up grinding, and I'm trying to get Knights of the Round. So I'm hoping that by next week, I can report that I will have finally beaten Final Fantasy VII.
Wow.
Just in time to play Final
Hey.
Fantasy VII again.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Real excited about that. But yeah,
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh,
It's been
cool.
a journey, man. Like
That's cool.
I started playing it again, and I realized I'm like, Final Fantasy VII is a really important game for me, and I think I want to get a Final Fantasy VII tattoo. I've got like my X-Men one here, my art one here, and I think I want to go up here, finish up this sleeve, and get a full-on Final Fantasy VII tattoo here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my. What else you got?
Nice. Venny. What else you got?
So it was brought to my attention, I believe, today. There is going to be a Fallout Amazon series, and the trailer dropped today, and it
Oh.
looks great.
Yes.
Like, I showed my wife, and she was like, "Okay, I want to watch this with you." So
This one has been on my because they've had the thumbnail up on Amazon for feels like so long now.
the trailer came out. I don't know if it was today, but today is when it was brought to my attention, and I got to tell you, like the just the amount of detail and touches straight from the game that you can find in that trailer are
Mhm.
just mind blowing. So unbelievably good.
Yeah, it's like based off like I think not just Fallout 4, but I think it's gonna hit a bunch of different points from like different Fallouts.
Yeah, I don't know. I was told. I think Short Bus mentioned to me. He and I went and got Korean chicken wings today for lunch,
Oh,
and he mentioned to me that the script for the new Fallout show apparently was going to be a game, but then they decided instead to
Whoa.
use that story for the show instead of a game. So this is the real deal.
that's dope.
It's a
'Cause-
new vault, new characters.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks good. It
It
looks
was part of
good.
the fun of Fallout. You didn't need to like retell the story
Right,
of
right.
you from one of the games.
Yeah, right.
The world is there
Right.
already.
Right.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth, Buck. I was gonna say the motif of Fallout is so broad that you could tell many stories within it.
Have you guys ever heard of Nuka Break?
No.
I got Nuka Cola.
So Nuka Break was it's funny because back in 2011, someone made a
Oh, wow.
Fallout mini series, like a web series on YouTube. It was an unofficial series called Nuka Break, and it was pretty good. I remember I used to
Wow.
watch it back in the day, and the conversation made me think about it. But it's got like a whole 3 seasons of content on there. Very, very low budget, obviously not as good as what I would imagine they're going to be making with this new series, but it's
Right.
a pretty cool thing to kind of look at if you want to find some more Fallout content.
Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks is playing the overseer of the vault.
No way,
Holy
for
fucking
real?
Shit.
No, dude, wait, hold on. No,
Oh
no,
my
no, shut
God.
up.
Overseer
Wait,
Hank-
hold on,
Hank
hold on.
is the
What?
overseer of Vault
Oh
33.
my goodness gracious. That's cool as
Hold
fuck.
on. No fucking way. There is no way that that's real.
Yeah, there. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the cast here too.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep, there's Ron Perlman is oh yeah. Oh no, I'll talk about some
Oh,
Ron Perlman
dude,
possibly
that's
being in an episode
awesome.
too.
What?
There's some good stuff on here.
All right.
Oh, that's a good cast. That's a good cast.
Yeah, it's got a good looking cast on there too.
That's
I think it'll be good. I think
Yeah.
they'll do a good
Yeah.
job with it.
Prime
The people
Prime's
that
been
are
doing a
writing
good
it
show
are
with
pretty
their
good.
show.
So
Oh yeah.
some Westworld folks are writing it.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's good
Shit. Fuck. All right, we got to wrap up. We can't because that's
Yeah,
cool as
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
like Westworld. All right, that's it for us, the Game Treasure Crew. That is another episode in the books. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. And hey, make sure to check us out on Instagram and TikTok. That's right. I made an Instagram and a TikTok for the show, and I upload the shorts there. If that's your If that's your favorite place to view content in the comedic format, make sure to find us on there under the Game Treasure Podcast. And always, you can help us directly by giving to our Patreon at patreon.com/the GTP. Join us next week, where we will be celebrating the first day of spring and the release of Princess Peach Showtime by talking about our favorite video game princesses. We want to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. Go and find them anywhere where you can find music on the internet. And of course, we'd like to thank RetroGameTreasure.com, owned and operated by Buck, aka the Mega Buck himself. Retro Game Treasure is a monthly subscription service that sends collectors bespoke boxes of video games. I'm talking every console generation from the Atari to the PS4. Simply make your profile at www.retrogametreasure.com and you'll receive games tailored to fit your collection. That means you tell them that you don't like sports games, you don't want them in your collection, and they will not give them to you. You will never get them, period. RetroGameTreasure.com. Obsessed with video games since 1985. My name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure Podcast. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
So bad.
Got one last one.
Rick